Hey guys, welcome back. You're listening to Boss Fight. This is a weird, lonely show and trailer with just Becky and I. It's really an odd feeling. This is a more low-key. It's not really a show and trailer. It's like, okay. So the thing is, I fucking hate reading video game news by myself. Sitting there, just looking up video game news. I sit there. I spend way too much time doing it because you
have to look up why it goes tie loss. Or win, loss, tie.
Yeah, like I get wrapped up in it, and it takes me way too long because every little minutia I have to look up. And the more I read, the angrier I get at games press and gaming media and everybody's opinions and shit like that. So maybe if I actually do it on the show, that'll add some brevity to it, and maybe it'll temper my rage a little bit. I don't know. We have a new thing up next, and it's so there's Watch Dogs 2 was announced. It's the world premiere announcement, and this is another thing that you would totally expect Ubisoft to wait until E3
for. We were literally talking about this last
night. It starts with reality, with Watch Dogs.
So this is 20 minutes long.
It doesn't mean we cannot be imaginative.
So this is like a full-on
but in reality,
E3 featurette that you might see at E3.
Are pretty creative naturally, so we want to inspire.
This was also leaked by a YouTuber. Well, that's what they get for giving YouTubers shit to do. What YouTuber?
Received a package and tweeted it.
This is a big moment.
What a fucking moron!
They are colliding together for the first time. And for the past months, we've been able to play.
He hasn't taken down the tweet, so is it really a leak, or was it meant to be done?
You could almost say the game has a life of its own at this point.
When you finish a game after
leaked or leaked,
I think it's leaked because otherwise this tweet would be deleted.
What's exciting is when you start really understanding what you tried to do with the first game, what went well, what went less good, and also what the players have said.
So Watch Dogs was, first of all, a new IP.
Is what it was.
Which is a big deal. It means that you start from almost nothing.
I think the new idea in Watch Dogs 1 was to talk about an hyper-connected society. Something that was becoming very important in our day-to-day lives.
Very important.
One of the most surveilled cities in North America, so we talked a lot about cameras and surveillance and being watched.
That's such a good idea.
When you played Watch Dogs, you probably played something you never played before because the city was sort of alive. People were not just people walking around the street, but you could hack into their lives and you could exploit them. You could see their secrets. You could manipulate the city, the bridges, and the steam pipes, and the traffic lights. What we basically created with Watch Dogs 1 was a playground where everything was connected.
So finally shipping the game. Well, a lot of people were happy and excited. We also got a lot of feedback, and we listened to that feedback. I personally spent months reading forums and reading all of the player feedbacks I could see on the web. We wanted to know what people felt and what they wanted to get from the game and what we could improve in the future. At that point, we knew we were going to make a Watch Dogs 2. Felt like we really did a big milestone with the original Watch Dogs. But with Watch Dogs 2, we could really deliver on the fantasy of being a hacker.
There's gonna be dog watchers.
We're in San Francisco. For us, San Francisco.
That'd be a good iteration.
Because it meant.
It's gonna take place in San Francisco this time. Because last.
Smart houses are calibrated to anticipate your every need.
You're listening to Rock the Grid.
The first one was in Chicago. Lionheart got it. Huh. So this time in San Fran with the pointy tower. And all the homeless people, all the gay people. Very San Francisco. Curvy streets.
Seals.
Shitty baseball teams. Ouch. Beautiful baseball stadiums. Their team's okay. This is all in-game graphics. Do we think they're being honest with them? They definitely don't look great, so they must be, right? Some of it looks okay. This looks pretty good. The lighting, I guess. Hey.
Woo! Baseball.
You do have to wonder whether Ubisoft will reform.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to believe this here because it's not insanely great
Yeah.
for this generation. Like this looks not even quite as good as the stuff they showed for the last Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Graphically.
Should go back and rewatch that now. See what they promised.
That wasn't CG,
But this
guys.
thing
If that was CG,
They
that
show
company
gameplay later.
needs to be
our San
fired because that was
Francisco
terrible
is all
CG.
Important parts of the Bay Area. There's
It-
a different feel, different.
If
vibe,
that wasn't
different
using the
look to
game
all of the
engine, that
areas
is
of
just
the world.
horrible.
We wanted to kind of represent all these different areas and the different collections of people that live.
Blur
in these
Studios
areas
doesn't
and
have
their
anything to
lifestyles
worry
and their
about then because
personalities.
nobody's nipping at their
So we're
heels if
building
that's
a
what
game
CG
where
has come
basically
to.
It's almost a
This is
simulation.
gameplay now.
You're in that world, and if you stop moving,
The last
and look
one was
around,
pre-rendered,
the world is
but it was
alive,
still
right? This is
in-game
the
engine.
promise of
There's
what
no way that
the
wasn't the
game
engine.
is.
That wasn't
Broke the
that
feeling
wasn't
that
like
the world
a
is centered on you.
a cinematic rendered by a
So
company that
characters
does
shouldn't only react to
cinematics.
you, they should react to each other. You know, maybe people start fights. Maybe someone calls the cops on someone else than you. Maybe a dog.
Yeah,
barks
how do we know
after
if it's
someone
CG
else
or
and
in-game? I
chases
saw no
them down the
indicator of
street?
what was
you
what.
need to feel as if this city is alive, even if you do nothing. And then if you start doing things,
So let's just for a second discuss what CG is. CG is computer generated. So technically any cinematic or in any gameplay is still computer generated. But the way that we talk about CG in gaming is something like the way we determine CG is something that was like created outside of the game engine.
Yeah.
Outside and is typically way more beautiful than anything possible in a current console or a computer
Not made
in the
in
game.
a game engine.
And then we say stuff like pre-rendered game engine trailer,
Yeah.
which is stuff that Ubisoft does a lot, like especially with Assassin's Creed, which is what I think that last trailer was. It was using animations and assets from the game rendered into a cinematic presentation of the game. Obviously not gameplay, because who's going to play a game where it cuts every 10 seconds to a guy in like flashy bits and ones and zeros? That was
Yeah.
obviously stylized. But
I thought it looked like in-game engine.
But that looked like in-game engine. If that
Otherwise,
wasn't,
why wouldn't they make it look beautiful?
yeah, why wouldn't they make it look beautiful? If they're gonna commit to a CG, why would they use something that wasn't in-game engine, but also, come on guys, it's gotta be in-game engine. That was horrible looking for a CG trailer.
you start playing in the world, the city should react to what you're doing. It should
Pier
feel
39.
normal. It should surprise you also. in
So
how it
anyways, now that
reacts.
we're looking at gameplay,
We were really interested in the city itself. It almost feels like the Wild West of technology. And how couldn't you set
looks
something in the
meh.
Wild West of technology?
this is my first impression.
It's a world that has a lot of potential for gameplay. I mean, if you're a hacker and you go in Silicon Valley and you have the head office of some of the biggest tech company in the world, what will you do? Can you hack into those places? What will you find? So it's a very intriguing setting for a hacker who's exploring the world. So as we're crafting this world, we're putting in it all of the factions that should be in it. So for example, we have various criminal groups trying to fight over the underground of the city. We also have corporations trying to make money and potentially even manipulate people in society. And we also have other groups of hackers trying to tap into the technology that has been set up in the city. Once again, CTOS, the smart city system that was in the first Watch Dogs, is installed in San Francisco, and various people are trying to tap into it to exercise control, power, or to try to make money.
In creating a hero for Watch Dogs 2, we wanted somebody new, somebody that could embody the spirit of California and the spirit of San Francisco. But we needed somebody who was going to be really worthy of all the cool stuff that we wanted to do in the game. So, our hero in Watch Dogs 2 is Marcus Holloway. He's a young hacker, very brilliant in what he
Whoa.
does because of the injustices that
He's black.
seen both being
And he's a
from
lead in a
Oakland
video
and
game.
also having been
When was the last time we saw one of those?
and being accused of a crime he actually didn't commit. That sort of made him go against the system.
It's not a white guy with stubble.
GTA? Why?
He was in lead though. He shared the part with 3 other guys.
Sure.
That's not like that's not a poster boy. Even though technically CJ basically. Yeah, he was the
When
last
was that?
time the lead.
Remember me?
Chick flack? What is with these freaking cutscenes? So this is our intro to the new dude. He likes screen printing and 3D printing. He likes parkour. Because Yves Guillemot told him he liked it. But sir, I don't like parkour. You're going to parkour through this entire game.
In terms of visual,
The audience will love it. We don't like it. You'll love it.
So that it can be memorable and people wants to play in, but still feels credible inside our world. He's a perfect blend between somebody that's tech savvy, that represents a little bit the internet culture, but also has that athletic and rebellious feeling to him.
I got a
we had to
goatee.
decide from the beginning what
do
things
parkour.
were comparable between Aiden and
Played by a white guy.
Would be different. We focused on parkour. We wanted
Or at least
Marcus to be
parkoured by a
lot better
white
at
guy.
parkour than Aiden.
That's awesome.
And we're not talking about just like climbing on things, but like being able to like flow and chain.
Whoa, that was
So
cool.
He's a pretty good fighter, but he's got some interesting quirks too. He's a more expressive guy. We've tried to try hard to figure out what kind of melee.
So he's got
weapon
this
we had.
thing
We
on a
tried
string.
bunch of things, and
Yeah.
some things were
What is
pretty
it?
Cool, some
Bolos?
things just didn't work at all. We did a lot of research, and we basically did what Marcus would have done. We went onto the internet and we started watching videos and started reading
that's not
websites.
what
and
he's
trying to
using as a
figure out
weapon.
What kind of stuff we could make? Pretty much all the stuff that you probably shouldn't search.
That's not
at
what
work.
he's using as a weapon.
In the end, what we stumbled across
No.
was this idea of taking
That's
a billiard
a
ball and
cake.
attaching it
Bolas.
to a paracord lanyard. And we took this and we handed this to the stunt team. And the first thing that we saw was it was fast. It was so fast that we couldn't believe how fast they were swinging this around their body. And then as soon as I saw this video, I'm like, this is crazy. We got it.
It would be cooler if it was a
cake.
yo-yo or a cake.
Citizens of the world, may we have your attention.
When we say we want to make a game about hacking, really a hacker, it's a culture, but you can have various motivations. The motivation we're excited about was what we call hacktivism. People who want to impact society and have ideals to defend.
So just in the background and in the fantasy of it, you're not a hacker at Watch Dogs 2. You're a DedSec hacker. You're a member of a community. And you're doing grand stuff and big exposure of important information to society because
How cool would
you're
this
not
game be if the lead character was Mr. Robot?
Yeah, I
The
was
first thing
just
you have to do
thinking
when
about
you're
him.
talking about hackers is you kind of have to
Obviously.
respect where they came from.
Wonder where
originally.
that thought came
Their
from.
messages sound very serious, but there's also a lulzy element to it, the way they have fun with what they're saying. We took that and we said, okay, so what if this is the sort of the spirit of DedSec and of our heroes? What if their spirit is still rooted in the trolling, it's a joke, we're going to have fun with it, but they still have something important to say?
The DedSec visual was really important for me because it represents everything that's cool about Watch Dogs. It's stylized, it's edgy, and it's raw, and it's underground, tapping into the horror
I
genre.
hope there's a scene where
tapping
someone
into
typing
the
really
internet
fast on the
culture,
keyboard and shouts,
all the
"I'm in."
memes, and also all the visual language.
That's
of the
obligatory. It has to happen in a
So
hacking
there are
game.
various characters,
or
various
movie.
people inside of DedSec. Some are a bit more violent, some have more ideals, some are maybe more intellectual. But they all have in common that they want to fight to preserve a sense of freedom. They don't want people to abuse tech to take control over people. But I'm not saying they are knights. they are rebellious. They do their own things their own way, and they want to have fun. That's also one thing is a sense of freedom, also a sense of fun through that group.
We are DedSec. Join us.
The new idea for hacking in Watch Dogs 2 is to let the player create his own solutions.
We're adding a lot more depth to hacking. So you have a lot more control, a lot more flexibility in how you hack the world.
So one big category of hacking in Watch Dogs 2 is the entire branch of pushing remote controls to its limit.
One of the
Mr.
big
Robot's
things
June
in Watch Dogs is
24th,
hacking vehicles.
first episode.
I think this is a real
That's
game
it.
changer because vehicles are everywhere in the world, and if you can
Dude,
hack
like
into the
next
drive
week?
system of a car, you can pretty much drive it wherever you want.
If next week is the 24th.
So making sure if you see a forklift in the world, it shouldn't be a forklift. You can just move the box up, down. You should, just like a camera, press a button and become that thing.
One of the core things that we're doing is we're opening up the game with Watch Dogs 2. You can hack every character. You can hack every car in the game.
It really
And
feels
you
like
can
they
hack
want this
most
to
of
be
the
their bid
electronics
to
within the
be
city.
Grand Theft Auto.
So that's a lot of potential targets for hacking.
It was the closest
And that's
they
not
ever
even
came,
counting
it felt
your
like.
own tools.
That anybody's
Well,
kind
in
come
Watch
to?
Dogs,
No,
we
no,
brought
no.
in a lot
I'd
more
say-
toys and things to play with because we wanted to embrace the maker culture.
Sleeping
DedSec
Dogs
had
came
these
closer
really interesting, intricate
Grand
guns
Theft
that
Auto.
are built on a 3D printer. Basically, the cutting edge technology of 3D printing, which is actually building it with metal.
Saints Row came
It's also
closer,
got
yeah.
this really cool taser. So if you want to play the game completely non-lethal and not actually kill anybody,
Like
you
a
can totally
loser?
do that.
We're playing with a lot more crafted items and a lot more of little devices that you can use.
One of the things that people kind of like that we've done, they really like what we've done, is we've created toys for Marcus. He has an RC jumper. He's got little wheels, and he's even got this little.
How is that
robot
dog
that he can
allowing
sort of
that?
deploy and
Yeah,
can
dude.
interact with
He
things
just
and
watched
unplug
it.
things
That's
and
a
plug
shitty
things,
dog.
take out screws.
Just watching
It's a
it do
neat
all
little
these things,
toy.
like, huh?
And then the
Well,
other gadget he's
nothing
got
I
is
can
this
do about it.
quadcopter. And it's
Maybe that's
more
why
about
they're against
scouting
puppies
and
in
being
this.
the eye in
They
the
showed
sky.
multiple
First
dogs
person view on it is incredible.
not giving a
You
fuck
just zip
But
it
about
yours
an
is the same
RC
dog,
thing.
but yeah,
It
totally.
feels like you're
It was two
flying.
different dogs. One was
Oh,
a German
you're
Shepherd, the other
Oh,
one
really?
was a lab.
Another branch, which is kind of connected to it, is the concept of manipulating people.
In Watch Dogs 1, you could only hack the people that were marked as potential target. Now, you can target the person you want, and you can hack them in multiple ways. For example, I could hack one person and distract them, have their phone ringing so they look
What
at
if
their
the
phone.
person doesn't have a
to create
phone?
a distraction. Later on
Yeah.
in the game, you'll also be able to do things
That's
called
Pure 39.
mass hacking, which is, well, why only hack one if you can hack them all?
There's one thing that I
We were
really
there
believe
recently.
about Watch Dogs players is that there is no Watch Dogs player. There are many types of Watch Dogs players.
You should be deciding how you want to play the game. So that means you can play a mission full gun blazing, that's the way you like to play.
I don't have a phone.
Full stealth.
Even the homeless
Or
people have a
through
phone?
hacking only.
Actually, they
project
probably
yourself
do.
in computers, take control of electronics, influence people, and try to get to your goal that way.
We try to really support all players types across all different styles of play, and also allow players to combine and mash these styles and play
See, the
together.
thing
So
that I have a problem is like it's
if
too
you've been
much
playing
freedom in a
certain
way,
for while, we
and
want
nothing's
the game
really
to be
that challenging in the
try
game.
different things,
So it
but
makes
also
all
not
this
force
like
you
you're
into playing the game,
overpowered.
right?
And that was a problem. Did you guys not feel that in the first Watch Dogs that you're OP?
Make it more accessible.
And it's
while
just like,
keeping
yeah,
all the different styles of vehicles. and
You're OP
adding
in a lot of great
physics and
sandbox
feel
games,
to
but
all
in
the
this one,
games.
for some reason, it just didn't feel
So we
right to
keep
be
it
OP.
depth,
It
but
didn't.
have
It
more
wasn't as much.
Isn't it hard to get
The team
away
was super
from?
happy with the result. As
So
most
easy.
gamers
It's
were
so
just as
easy.
excited.
Really?
It felt like God in it.
I
We
call
are very
Fraser
excited
on
by
other
the
people's
potential of what we
phones.
call seamless online. We start doing that in Watch Dogs 1, so we're expanding on that. We cross path with friends in the city. So you playing
I
in single
challenge
player,
myself
and you're
by
crossing
going
path
stealth.
with another player who's also
One of the
playing
coolest
in single
aspects
player.
of
Both
the
of
game
you
was
are
being
members of
infiltrated
DedSec,
by other
so you're
hackers
friends,
and having to
and
find
you can just
them.
walk up to each
Yeah.
other.
Remember
you'll
that?
say
Like,
hello, hit the
and they would
button,
hide, and you
form
had to
a
find them in a
co-op
certain amount of time. Those mini games
Yeah,
as you
We're
played
gonna
the
be showing
game.
in the next
I thought that was
one.
actually pretty
This
inspired.
example of how those things work together to create magical gameplay moments.
The city of San Francisco and the whole Bay Area is exciting. It's vast. You're going to find a ton of things to do that are unique to you.
Basically build your own moments. You know, create a situation that you start laughing at and you say, wow, this happened, and you want to share it with friends.
Yeah, that
You
would
don't
be
want
the
to just
thing.
be like a roller
Oh,
coaster
the
or a
sea
theme
lions!
park ride where I go through all the same beats as everybody else.
You decide what you want to be spending your time doing. That can be multiplayer.
I'm surprised
that
they
can
didn't make
be
the protagonist
focusing on stories,
customizable
That
then.
can be
Like,
just exploring the world.
make your own
Whichever activity
character.
you do, we're gonna make sure you get rewarded to get
Like
closer
kind of
Yeah.
like Saints Row, if
That's
they
There's
really
no
want that much
reason
freedom
not to, yeah.
and multiple voices to choose from and stuff. Because I feel like that's what the first one was
You won't wait to
missing
know when
was
something
their
start to click
Grand
and
Theft
starts to
Auto
work.
is
Everything
fun.
changes.
You stop seeing individual
Here, I'll just actually
components,
pause this for a
animations
second.
or texture maps or vehicle.
Grand Theft Auto is fun not because it's difficult or challenging. It's fun because of all the random shit that happens and the ragdoll physics and like all the crazy situations you can create. And it's a playground. Whereas Watch Dogs 1, I felt like just it seemed clear to me that they were trying to be a Grand Theft Auto with hacking.
Yeah.
Their own an Ubisoft Grand Theft Auto, and they just were failing because the stuff that makes Grand Theft Auto so hilarious wasn't there. It didn't feel like there was as many possibilities or something like that. So if that's what they're trying to bring over to this, if that's what that seemed to be, they just dedicated 5 minutes to talking about that.
Yeah.
It could make the game better if they really have truly opened it up in terms of what's potentially possible.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep playing.
You just start to see the experience as a whole.
It changes on the floor. People get excited about it.
This is it. It exists.
We are always making the game with the player in mind. They have always been the driving force.
When you come with a sequel that really earns its due, you know, that really does a lot of new things, that has a lot of surprises, it's a great feeling.
In the end, there's nothing more accurate than this. Looking at something, trying to understand it. Solely for up with the system.
I think they just bleeped the thing he said, but it was just his accent and it wasn't actually a swear.
This year.
When did it say?
11, 13, 20, 16.
Click
November.
here to join DedSec.
Like
and receive
every other
exclusive
game.
In-game
Yeah.
rewards and more. Subscribe
That'll
to our
get
YouTube
pushed.
channel.
I bet that'll get pushed.
Yeah, it'll get put. Well, how's their track record been lately, Ubisoft? It looks kind
Forking with
of
the system.
meh. I'm gonna look up Watch Dogs 2.
Not good. History. Watch Dogs was pushed like 2 times.
Was it?
Not great. I think it'll hit the date.
So their website has the cinematic reveal trailer. I'll put in my birth date here, 1905.
You're born the same year.
The establishment's exploiting technology to silently amplify its control over you using the skills and anonymity of... Okay, who cares?
Actually, that's true. If they were working on this sequel before the first one was even released, it might make the date. And it sounds like they were.
Maybe it's very close to being done.
Yeah.
So they're gonna show it at E3 as well, so there might be a little bit extra stuff to be found out at E3. So the big news, I guess, is San Francisco.
And it looks very accurate, which is fun. It's always fun to play games that are...
Marcus Holloway is a young hacker from Oakland. Is this the first San Francisco representation in a video game?
Oh, I doubt it. But I can't think of another one.
There was places in Grand Theft Auto that were San Francisco-ish. But they were also Los Angeles-ish as well. Oh, Driver San Francisco. Oh yeah, I remember that. Never played it. He can hack everything. That's what makes Marcus special.
San Andreas.
So I didn't see much interesting in there. All I saw was drone like I saw a lot of drone flying and it looked like drone races, which looked boring as hell.
Yeah.
The RC car thing is just another way to get around, the little way to hack shit. And,
you can make things with a 3D printer.
like what? Some pre-made stuff that you already, like the
Probably
game tells
like your
you
gun,
can make. I want to be able
taser.
to. If I can make a dick gun, then I'm impressed.
Yeah. Me too. There's more hacking.
6 well-known Bay Area locations, including Marin County, Oakland, Silicon Valley. Fisherman's Wharf will be in there with its trademark colony of sea lions. That's pretty much the feature list
Yeah.
that they're showing here. Sticking bombs onto vehicles, blah, blah, blah. Have they found anything I haven't?
I don't think so.
You guys feel free to toss in facts that tidbits that you find.
Sounds like a pretty impressive map at least.
The PlayStation blog says 5 things to know about Watch Dogs 2 on PS4. Big Brother no longer works alone. After Aiden Pierce was... Uh-oh, spoilers. You no longer work alone. You're part of that syndicate.
Right.
Every activity counts towards your progression is number 3 to know. We wanted every interaction to be meaningful. Each neighborhood to have its own vibe and feel, blah, blah, blah. Number 4, hacking has expanded, open to new possibilities. I didn't really see a lot of new possibilities besides everybody's hackable, not just individuals.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I saw.
Maybe they're gonna reveal more later.
You can hack traffic signals. You could, okay, it says that not enough? Take control of the vehicle's steering wheel or overload the engine.
Oh, that's new? I thought you could do that before.
You can have an RC car or a drone. That's it. Nothing's really been. There was no wow factor in that whole thing. Was there any thing?
Lots of people in there, as it was ending, they were like, "That was 20 minutes and I'm bored. I see nothing innovative."
I thought the best part about Watch Dogs 1 was the fact that was those mini games, the whole find the hacker thing, and it could happen at any time while you were playing through the story that a person tries to hack you. Or you try to hack another person, and I forget what the benefit of that was.
I was pretty much not paying attention. Black dude seemed to impress you.
Just because it's so rare. Oh, you can vape. It's like a robot cock that you're sucking on.
Depends on what kind of device you get.
I don't think there's much there to create any buzz. The first Watch Dogs created buzz because it was gorgeous, and then we found out it was all a lie. This one looks, at least, within reason, like reasonably runnable on today's consoles.
Yeah.
But it's not doing anything like. Well, that's the thing. Like when Grand Theft Auto came out, the graphics and the size of the map blew everybody away.
Oh yeah, totally.
So it is possible to bring out a sandbox game that impresses.
Yep.
That blows people away with its graphics and its expansiveness and its features. But they haven't done that here, in my opinion.
Just looks like another open world game. Waiting for more info.
And the flavor doesn't appeal to me. I guess it might appeal to some people, but it doesn't have the same effect that their Assassin's Creed games do. Yes, it's another Assassin's Creed game, but this time it's in Lithuania or something, and that's interesting, or the moment of time that they can choose. But this just doesn't have it. It's like modern day. I want to get away from modern day. It sucks here. In the game, you can play a video game. You can play Overwatch in Watch Dogs 2.
Yes!
All right.
Yep.
We have another trailer coming up next. We're going to look at Ukulele. Stay tuned.